Hey guys, today we're going to be doing a bit of a Q&A because I have not done a life update in so long for you, and also so much has changed in my life recently, so I feel like it's probably worth doing one of these. I'm doing a bit of a podcast setup today, so the audio on this should be A1. If it's not, then I need talking to because I've been having some terrible time with my camera equipment recently. It is no wonder that I have given the job to someone else because I'm just absolutely rubbish. Just want to say quickly, thank you so much to all of you guys who do watch all of my videos. I'm so grateful. And yeah, I really appreciate it. Obviously, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. So I put a question on my story on Insta, Q&A, what questions you'd like to know, what you'd like me to update you on. Thank you everyone who sent them in. I'm going to start with easier ones, and then we're going to go into the bit more deeper personal ones, which I'd say it's kind of like an awkward thing because it's really hard to navigate how best to share your personal life online, because you kind of want to do it because it obviously makes your life easier. But then obviously it's your personal life, so it's all a bit complicated. Anyway, we'll get into that later. What are your top 3 bucket list courses? So my first one has to be Augusta National because it has that element of exclusivity and secrecy around it. And I mean, it must be everyone's, right? I'm definitely not the only person. I'm pretty 99% of golfers would say Augusta. So I feel like I have to do it just because everyone else has kind of said it. Then Pebble Beach would be my second. The reason for that is, you guys might think it could be a multitude of different reasons, but for me, I played a lot of sim golf in my time. And every time I play Pebble Beach, I always get my ball into the sea on the right. And I would just love to play Pebble to see if I could keep it on the fairway and not lose my ball. And also it just looks beautiful, it looks stunning, and it's also an iconic course. So yeah, Pebble Beach would be absolutely epic. And then my third one, it's called the Extreme 19th. So that's the whole name. And it is the longest par 3 in the world. It's 395 yards. It's 400 meters high and is accessed via helicopter only. So you have to get a helicopter to go onto the tee box. If any of you guys have ever played it, let me know, because I'd be so interested just to get your thoughts, whether you liked it, whether it was scary, whether it was actually pretty chill, whether you got it on the green. Let me know. It just sounds really, really cool. What's your favorite hidden gem course that you've played? I always go back to this, and it's been the same for quite a while now. So Costa Navarino in Greece, unbelievable. Now you probably don't think of Greece as being like a place to go play golf. I never really thought of it myself. Costa Navarino has 4 different courses, but there's a particular course up there. It's called the International Olympic course. Now it has the Bay course, so one of the other 3 courses underneath it. The International Olympic is kind of raised, so you can look down on the course below. You've got all of the bay, the sea, the water, whatever you want to call it, out there too. And then behind you've got all of the mountains. And it's just one of those courses where every hole you go on, you're taking so many photos and videos, and you're like, this is the best hole I've ever seen in my life. And then you go to the next one and you're like, oh no, I take that back. And you start taking more photos and more videos, and you're like, this is the best hole I've ever seen in my life. And then you do it again, and you're like, your camera roll is honestly bursting because you've got so many photos thinking the next one's going to be the best. The next one's going to be the best. It's so pretty. I played really early in the morning as well, so it was super serene. I felt, this sounds so cliche, I felt really at one with nature and at one with the world. It was just quite a magical moment. Plus I played quite well on that course. I actually filmed a video on it. This was a year ago, was it now? A year and a bit ago. I played well for myself at the time, if that makes sense. But yeah, it was stunning, beautiful. I know I'd go back in a heartbeat. For me, that is really a hidden gem because there's not that many people out there, and not many people know Greece as being a golfing destination, I would say. So yeah, that's it. What's the most useful tip you've received for your short game? So this is actually from Hannah Davies, not the question, the answer. Basically, when you put your wedge on the ground like this, what Hannah's taught me is to toe it up a bit so the shaft becomes slightly straighter. You've got more toe on the ground, and then literally hit in a straight line where you want the ball to go. And it has changed my chipping no end. I cannot even describe it to you. My chipping has got so much better. Also grip down a little bit, just get a bit more feel. And also you don't need to be gripping super hard. Just be normal. Have a bit of je ne sais quoi, a little bit of delicacy to you. Thank you so much, Hannah. You're a legend. You're amazing. And you've changed my chipping game. If you could model your swing on any LPGA player, who would it be and why. It is Anne Van Dam. I have a whole album in my phone just of Anne's swing. So she's actually a good friend of mine. She's one of the longest hitters on the LPGA as well. And I asked her to send me loads of videos of her swing in slow-mo. I have no idea how many times I've watched them. I wish there was like a little number that said how many times I've watched these videos. Another person's swing that I really like is Nelly Corder's. I think she just looks super stable. I don't know what it is. There's something about her swing I just think looks really smooth, flows super nicely. I love the tempo. So yeah, I'd say Anne Van Dam and Nelly Corder. When will you do more golf, girls? I love that series so much. So thank you so much for watching all those videos. We really appreciate it. We also love filming them. They're so much fun. The only trouble we have is our schedules. Aligning them is so difficult. You have no idea because there's 3 of us. And then if we're doing a collab as well, that's 4 people's schedules you need to align. Plus you need to do, well, I basically do all the like logistics and coordination and all of that stuff behind the scenes. Then it has to go through all the reviewing. We have to have 2 camera guys as well. So there's a lot of people that are involved in some of these videos, which obviously looks amazing on the outside. Like internally, it's actually quite challenging and there's a lot of hard work that goes on. Just schedules though, like everyone has such busy lives, plus summer, like probably the busiest time of the year for all of us. We're all working on different events and you kind of can't say no to that type of work because obviously YouTube is fun, it's great, it delivers a lot of value, but then also, you know, how can you say no to a job? You know, it's going to help you pay your bills at the end of the month and, you know, at the end of the day, kind of got to pay bills if you want to live and survive and want to eat. But we will definitely be filming more as soon as our schedules align again. We'll be back on it. Obviously summer's been super difficult. Winter might be quite tricky as well because there's loads of things going on like rugby, basically every sport, because we work in sport, there's always a new event happening, but we always try our best to link up where we can. So it is going to happen. It's just a matter of when, and we are trying our best. So don't worry, we're on it. We're still here. We're still around. With a lot of time on the road, do you miss being at home? I miss being at home so much. I love being at home. Like I just absolutely love it so much. I also really enjoy being on the road. The thing I don't like is like the transition. So I hate going from like home to being on the road. Like I hate the packing. I hate the like moment I have to leave the house. I hate the build up. But then once I'm there, I love it. So it's kind of like a weird kind of transitional anxiety that I get, which is really odd. It's just something I feel like I have to just deal with and manage, and I don't feel like it's going to go away. Just have to crack on, really. I miss being able to just open up my wardrobe and be like, what am I going to wear today? What's the weather? What should I pick? What shoes am I going to wear? And just having everything available. Whereas when you're obviously living in a suitcase, all you have is what's in your suitcase. And you could have packed for 3 different climates and forgotten something. Like I don't remember where I went. I was on the road for, I think, 4 weeks and I didn't pack a jacket. So stupid. Like I packed like an absolute idiot most of the time. I didn't pack a jacket. I was thinking, what was I thinking? What was I actually thinking? I wasn't. That's the problem. And it's moments like those where you're just thinking, if only I could be at home. Plus you miss like all your friends or your family, all of that type of stuff, and you feel a little bit distant from everyone, but then it's kind of like the life you've chosen. But then you also have a lot of other people who are living kind of similar schedules and similar lifestyles to you as well, so you become really close to like the girls on tour. So my best friends are the girls on tour and we have the best time together and they kind of help get you through it. So I don't know, it's a weird one, but yeah, I miss being at home a lot. How do you feel about distributing your time playing, practicing golf versus working in golf? Really hard. Like I spoke about before, being on events, having busy season in summer, super challenging to then go out, practice your golf, to then film videos. Really difficult because your golf game will have gone down because you haven't been out practicing or playing at all, and then kind of want your journey to be going up. But you know, it is what it is. You can't always be good. And well, I also like to be real and honest with you. And sometimes, you know, your golf is rubbish and that's just the way it is. And then sometimes it's amazing and you're thinking, what the hell has happened here? Like, how have I become so good in such a short space of time? Or have I done nothing and become good? That's the craziest thing sometimes that happens. You're like, I haven't even practiced. I think for this year though, I do want to try and practice more. So the plan is to spend more of the winters like abroad rather than in England, where it's just miserable and you can barely play and it's not that great. Plus I want to film more videos for you guys, so more YouTube, and to kind of showcase my journey and all of that stuff even more and in a better way, because I feel like it's just been so busy. It's really hard to focus on anything because I feel like I spread myself so thinly sometimes, and I need to like try not to if possible. Probably won't because I love to do everything, but whatever, I'll try my best. How do you cope with all the stress? I don't. I am really bad as in I block everything out. That's my like way of dealing with things. I just try not to think about it and I just crack on, or I work more. That's also kind of like a way I power through life is work more, so I don't have to think about any stress, any anxiety, any things that are bothering me, which probably isn't healthy in the slightest. I probably wouldn't recommend it either, but it's kind of how I personally deal with things. So yeah, I'm trying to not stress so much, but it's hard when you've got a lot of people. You feel like a lot of people are like taking, a lot of people are wanting things from you. When you feel like you are spreading yourself so thinly and you can't give everyone the attention that they want and that they need, you then start feeling really bad about yourself, and then you think, oh, like, I'm letting this person down, am I letting that person down, I feel really bad for this person, and you get into this like really weird cycle. So I kind of want to try stop doing that, and I love giving like my full attention to the people when I'm like with them. I don't really enjoy it when I feel like my attention is like having to dart between people and I'm not giving them enough of me. I don't know if I can get around that, but every day I just think I'll be better. I'll try and be better in whatever it is I'm doing, and like the best is all you can be. Like, be a good person, be better, be kind. Just keep going, keep on going. So I've actually got this question quite a lot. If someone wanted to start their own YouTube video, what would you advise? Equipment, editing? What tips would you give to anyone aspiring to start YouTube golf? What do you recommend doing if you want to get into the YouTube golf world? So first off, I would probably say that YouTube is very time consuming. It looks amazing. It's great to watch, but so much goes on behind the scenes, and even to like make those videos that you watch in the evenings happen. And then I would say YouTube golf is like another level on top of that. So if you look at some of the best YouTube golfers in the world, Rick Shields, Peter Finch, Good, the level of production they have is absolutely exceptional. The cameras they have are incredible. The editing is amazing. The shot traces are really good. Like, everything about them is very high level. And as someone starting out, it can be quite intimidating to think, oh, do I need all of that stuff to basically start my own channel? Which I would say you don't. I mean, I've been doing YouTube properly for like a year and a bit, but I kind of dabbled in it before, and I just used an iPhone, filmed in 4K off my iPhone. You can invest in some DJI mics, so that's just like some audio mics, about £200. Makes such a difference. But I wouldn't say you necessarily need like all of the equipment initially to start with, because you may not even like it. You may not enjoy filming. You may like the idea of it, but then actually when it comes to it and realizing all the work that goes in, like, it's actually not as fun as I thought it was going to be. Secondly, you may not even have the time to do it. Like, it is very time consuming, and you may not be able to have the consistency to keep it going. It's also quite demoralizing if you keep making videos and putting all that effort in and nobody ever watches them. But that being said, it is also supposed to be a passion, and if you're doing it because you love it and you are passionate about it, then none of it should really matter. Technically, it's hard for it not to matter, really, because you're making videos because you want people to watch them. My very first camera actually was a Canon G7X Mark III. Now, it was teeny tiny, like this big. It was a vlogging camera. Did like it, however, in England, with it being the beautiful weather it is, the cloud, the sky, well, the skies were always white, and by white, we're not talking sun, we're talking a lot of cloud there. It would just be so hard to like see properly. The lighting was a bit off. It's hard to track the ball, do you know what I mean? Like, through the white cloud. So I had that for a while, but it was okay. Then I bought a Sony A7 III. So I would say that's kind of industry standard. A lot of people have that camera. It is expensive, I'm not going to lie. Like, every time I've bought a camera, I've kind of like died a little inside and thought, oh, that's a lot of money. I don't even want to think about how much money I've spent on camera equipment. It makes me feel physically sick. The Sony A7 III is a really good camera. That was our main camera. Casper actually has very kindly sent me a list of all of the equipment that we have, because it's kind of developed over time. So thank you, Casper, for doing that. Also, thank you, Casper, in general. He is like the main man. He's like the guy who does all the videography, the editing. Like, I honestly have no idea what equipment we're using anymore, because it's like got to the point where it's just a bit too complex for me, and I feel like I've got a brain whereby if I don't want to learn it, I won't learn it. If you told me all the stuff about cameras, now I'd be like, nah, I'm not going to learn it. My brain doesn't want to know. So I kind of leave that to Casper. I'm very grateful to him. So yeah, thank you, Casper. He's actually editing this, so even triply, thank you so much. But We also have like another editor as well, and another videographer. I'm also always looking for people to help out. So if you're an editor and want to get involved, or a videographer, then do drop me an email. You can find it on my Instagram. Yeah, always looking, always happy to have help. You know, it's a bit of a slog, this YouTube stuff, but it's also super fun and super rewarding, and there's like a lot that comes with it. So you win some and you lose some. Anyway, we've got the Sony A7. Then it had a lens on it. So the lenses we've got is a Sony G Master 2 24 to 70mm and a Sony 24 to 130 millimeter, if you know what that means. Then in front of me now, which is my latest camera, is the Sony ZV-E1. So I've literally just bought this. I know it was a bit rocky when we did the Evian video, but hopefully we've stabilized it now, and I'm using tripods more when I'm self-filming, so should be good. Fingers crossed. It has also the flip screen, so I can see myself. So like right now I can see myself, and it makes it so much easier, because it's really hard otherwise to see what you're doing if you cannot see yourself and you're filming yourself. It's quite challenging. And then on this, the lens is FE4-24-105 GOSS. So if you know what that means, that's the lens I'm using. And it's also got an ND filter on it as well. So for like bright lights, the ND filter is meant to help flatten it out. I don't know, I just made that up. I think that is what I was told. Like I said, none of the information goes into this little brain. And then we also have DJI clip mics, a Rode Pro mic, so that kind of sits on top sometimes. And then monopod, a small rig cage, free world monitor, newer focus wheel to be used on Zoom, and SanDisk Extreme Pro SD cards, and a Ronin RS3 gimbal. So Casper, if you could put a little picture here of your setup. So it's a pretty robust setup, this. Looks the part, and he's always getting like new little gadgets for it. And I'm like, okay. We'd love to get a drone as well. That's like on our list of things we'd love to buy, and also a camcorder. But as I said, it's just so expensive. So you kind of need to build up as you go. And as I said, you don't need a massive expensive setup really. If you want to start YouTube, I'd kind of test out to see if it's something you actually like first before you start investing. I mean, for me, I've just got this, obviously Sony ZV-1, a tripod from Amazon, and the lens on it. That's about it. And then in terms of editing, I always use Final Cut Pro, but I know the boys use Premiere Pro. I personally use Final Cut because you can just like buy it in a package and you don't have to pay a subscription fee. Like I hate paying subscriptions on things. I like just buying it, owning it, and then I'm like, yeah, it's mine. Whereas I know other people would rather pay like X amount of money a month to use the best software or whatever. I think Premiere Pro might be better. I don't know. I don't do my editing anymore. I used to do it all, but just don't have time, and it'll be next to impossible if I was to edit. You'd never get a video, quite frankly. So I'm really grateful to all of the people that help me make these videos for you guys. Thank you. What else would I say? I'd say it's really hard to get probably your first few views. I'm kind of lucky in the sense of I had an Instagram account, so I could convert people over a little bit, but YouTube is a slog. It's really hard. It's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort, but it's also really rewarding. And I feel like I get a lot of value when I read your comments and you say, oh my God, I love this video. Or like I was howling, or it made me really laugh, or it made me smile. Or you say, wow, I learned something new. Or, oh, my golf game's improved because that tip that you found from this person that you shared with us took me to the next level, or whatever it is. That for me is super rewarding, and I get a lot of value from that. I feel like, because I'm one person, having to help lots of people individually, as much as I love it, is really difficult. Whereas with a video, I feel like I can help lots of people simultaneously. It's just really nice, isn't it? So yeah, I mean, I just want to say thank you to you guys for always watching, supporting, and for sharing your kind comments, and for laughing and just having a nice time when you're relaxing, basically. And then the final thing, just to add on quickly, is consistency. So if you did one video a year, you're probably not going to do that well on YouTube. It's the same with everything. You just got to be consistent. If you've got the time for it, brilliant, go for it. If you haven't, then it's going to be really difficult. Most meaningful quote from someone, and how did it change your view on life or event? So my dad's favorite quote is actually, it's always good in the end. And if it's not good, then it's not the end. And my dad's a very positive person. He's very optimistic. He likes to very light-hearted and jokey and happy. And I think I've learned a lot from him in that way. Just because like life is hard sometimes, and I think there is a lot of negativity in the world, and sometimes it's easy to get bogged down by all of that. And you do need people in your life who are going to be rays of sunshine, even on the darkest of days. And when you feel yourself super sad or down, or like everyone is against you, to then be happy is really challenging, and it's really difficult. But also, especially in this line of work, like I feel like I have to be happy all the time, and it feels difficult to let people know if things have affected you, or things, I don't know, like people could say anything and you could just be having a sensitive day, and then it suddenly could get you more than it would on another day. But I think there's a part where you just have to become very like sure in yourself and be like, no, it's going to be okay. Like today is just a bad day. Tomorrow will be a good day. And you just kind of have to power through a little bit. So yeah, I just think that quote is super nice because it's also very true. For example, my job before this was working in product management. Loved my job. Absolutely loved it. But I was working like I've never worked before. I mean, I work a lot in this job, but that was next level. Like I've never worked so much in my life, to the extent where I was literally burnt out. I couldn't even get up out of bed. Really bad anxiety, constantly crying, like physically and mentally just done. And then because of that, I thought, obviously it's the lowest day. I was like, I don't even know how I'm going to get through this. How can I get out of bed? Like this is really bad. And I had so much pressure on myself because I had so many things I needed to deliver on because it was COVID. And obviously there's a lot of pressure on during COVID, especially if you're working in COVID testing, which is what I was doing. Then obviously jump forward to now, I'm now living this whole new dream that I never knew existed. And maybe if I hadn't had that burnout and I hadn't had to take that summer sabbatical, I would never be here today and I would never be living like my new dream. So, you know, sometimes the worst days lead you on a path to your best days. I don't know. I just think that quote is super true. And if you're having a bad day or you're going through a bad time, like good things do happen to good people. And yeah, I just think keep going, keep spreading sunshine, keep being happy, keep being positive, and good things will come. Also, my personal favorite quote is never judge a day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds you sow. So I never value success on, say, the paycheck that you get at the end of the month, or you know, I just never value my success on the end product. I value my success of a day based on the things I do, the hard work I put in. Like, have I sent that email? Have I ticked that off my list? Have I done that? That for me is the meaning of success, because it feels like I'm moving forward. I'm basically planting the seeds, you know, for brighter days, better days ahead. And I find it kind of motivating and satisfying and fulfilling to be thinking about things like that, because I think it's really easy to just sit back and want to just cash in on all the hard work you've done, which I think you should do. There should be times when you do that, but if you then don't kind of sow any more seeds, you kind of are a bit stagnant. And I think I have a fear of being stagnant, to be honest with you. And then my other quote that I really like: the best way to stay patient is to be busy doing something else. I like this quote because sometimes, say you sent out an email and you're like desperate to get the gig or desperate for, I don't know, whatever it is, but you don't hear anything back. Now, say you were basically mulling it over, thinking, oh my God, maybe they don't like me, maybe they're thinking this, maybe this is happening, and you just stress yourself out until you get the reply. Or alternatively, say you're doing something else, you're working on something else, you're bettering yourself in another way, and then you get that reply. You've got that one path where you've been stressed the whole time, and you're thinking, oh my God, this is awful. And then you've got the other path, when you finally get the reply, you're like, oh, sweet, this is awesome. Do you know what I mean? So there's two ways of doing exactly the same kind of journey or route, but your mind is playing a totally different trick on you. And I think it's really easy to kind of get in your own head and overthink things. So I just do other stuff, basically, to take my mind off it. And it always works. And everything does happen for a reason. Even if you get a no at the end of the day, you've been working on something else. And so you've got that other thing to like, motivate you, to keep your brain working, to keep you just like engaged in whatever it is or whatever goal that you're trying to achieve. What are your career goals? The good question, because I don't even know if you'd asked me like 3.5 years ago whether what I'm doing now would be my career goal. I'd be like, hell no, this is never going to happen. What are you talking about? I would have said, well, actually my first ever career goal was to be an actuary. So dealing with financial risks, doing financial modeling, all of that type of stuff. Obviously that didn't happen. Then I wanted to work in product at Facebook or Apple or Microsoft. That was my goal. My new career, obviously, that last one didn't work out. I don't even know anymore. Like sometimes I couldn't have even told you that what I'm doing today is what I would want to be doing, if that makes sense. And it's kind of changed my perspective on life in a sense of, I don't always like to say what I think I would be doing because I'm worried it's going to close doors to things that I didn't know I wanted. Does that make sense? Also, I hate jinxing things. Sometimes I think if I say it out loud, I'll jinx it and it will never happen. If I'm like, oh, I really want this to happen, and I say it out loud and then it never happens, and I feel really disappointed that I never made it happen. So yeah, career goals. Anyway, we're just going to say YouTube is a big career goal for me this year, my new birth year. And yeah, maybe some other bits and bobs, but I don't want to jinx it. US trip soon. Yes, I actually want to spend way more time out in the US, especially over winter. England is just not the place to be over winter. Beautiful summers here. Love England during summer. I actually really love England as a country. I think it's a really nice country, but winter can just be really miserable. So I'm actually going out to Florida in October. I'm doing 1 week in Florida, 1 week in Miami, and I'm so excited to go to Miami. Apparently it's the city that never sleeps. It's meant to be super fun. So I'm very excited for that. And then in November, December time, I'm going to probably stay out in Florida again. And then maybe January, Dubai or something. We'll see. But yeah, that's my plan. Spend winters abroad and summers in England and more time in America, obviously. Okay, so this question is probably the most asked question. Am I single? Am I still in a relationship? It's also probably one of the most difficult questions to answer or navigate or how to explain or any of that stuff. Just sharing your private life online is such a weird / odd thing to know how to do. I mean, when you go through a breakup, it's not something you're going to be telling everyone straight away. Like, it's such a private matter. It's super emotional. You're going through all of these feelings, and it's not something you want to talk about for like quite a while until you feel like you're in a good place and you're ready to talk about it. And you're like, okay, now I can say something. But obviously, as an individual, you'll have gone through that whole process months after, whereas then you tell you guys, and to you, it feels fresh. It feels like it's just happened, but actually it's happened like God knows how many months ago, if that makes sense. And then you also feel like, okay, time's gone on so far. And then you're like, do I even talk about it? Or do I just kind of talk about the future stuff? And at what point do you even say anything at all? Because then you're like, oh, well, I kind of skipped over it and now I'm here, but they all still think I'm there. Anyway, you can understand the conundrum I'm kind of going through. I mean, for me as a person, I want to be able to film videos for you guys. And I would also really like a world in which whoever I'm dating at the time, I can film videos with for you as well. Because I think it's like, just think it's more fun. I think it's enjoyable. I do honestly like you guys like watching videos of me and my other half. I think it's really fun. But obviously when you go through those kind of awkward times where you do break up, you have to kind of share that and explain that as well. So the crux of it is, I still want to film videos for you with whoever I'm dating. The other part is when I go through a breakup, it's really tricky for me to then explain it to you. And then when I get into a new relationship, also I feel like that's all I want to talk about. And I don't really want to dwell on the past or what's happened, just because I don't think it's really fair on them. Also, life happens and, you know, it just is what it is. Like, it's not anyone's fault at the end of the day. Sometimes, you know, lives are slightly different. You know, I have a very weird life. I live on the road a lot. Like, schedules don't align. And it's just really difficult. Like, my lifestyle is difficult. When you never see someone, it's just hard, and it's not on anyone else, but there's like an element of loneliness that you will both get just because you never see each other. And, you know, it's kind of part of life, and you just decide whether it's what you want or it's not what you want. And that's kind of it. And I also do want to say again, like, I do really appreciate all of you guys and all of you for just like supporting me on my life or whatever it is. It's actually so difficult. Like, I actually feel so awkward now, like talking about like my relationship and how to explain it to you, because I don't know, it's just really weird. It's like such a private matter, but then I'm telling you guys, and you know, anyone can judge you straight away for it, because it's like, oh, I don't know. See, this is getting awkward. Anyway, let's move on to the future. Okay, so am I single? I am dating someone. His name's Ollie Robinson. He plays cricket. It's actually been really eye-opening getting to know him, because in cricket, he's portrayed as like a bit of a villain, so like a baddie. And I mean, I'm not really one to judge people before I meet them. I'm very much I'll make my own judgment when I meet you in person. I've always been that kind of person. I just think, especially if like, you know, some people talk about other people to you, I just don't think it's fair, because it's all like personal opinion or whatever. I like to give people like a fresh start. Ollie is actually super kind, super caring, like probably polar opposite to what people think he's like. And I actually think you guys will really like him once you get to know him better. Like, he's actually pretty funny, and he's just like a kind person. Interestingly, he takes so much flack from the media. Like, he's just one of those people where the media just love to kind of go in at. In his line of work, he can't say anything. He just has to kind of take it on the chin. He never gets his side across, or he never gets to like say anything or do anything, and he just takes it. Whereas I can like sit here and I can talk on a YouTube video and I can just talk frankly and just like be myself, whereas he has to just hide, if that makes sense. Not hide, but he just can't really say anything. You just have to like put it in the background and keep moving forward and just keep playing your sport or doing whatever. Anyway, I just think it's really like admirable in a way whereby you can take so much flack and then still just keep your focus, keep trying to do your best, work really hard, try and be better, be kind, and do all of those things. I think it's pretty impressive. I mean, I'd probably be crying all the time. We actually, when we first met, we played a 6-ball together. It was the first time I'd ever seen him or met him. Quite a few of the boys who play cricket play at my home course in Fox Hills. And then we didn't see each other for like ages, just working, life, busy, on the road, whatever. And then we'd both obviously come out of long-term relationships. I mean, this is months ago now, so it's really weird talking to you about it now, but it's been ages. Anyway, I guess we were going through like similar emotions. I don't really know. I don't know. We both just like golf, really. And I actually didn't know him because I don't really know cricket. Actually didn't know cricket at all, to be honest. But he does love golf. Like, he loves golf so much. He plays off like a wand. He's so good. I'd say he's a scratch golfer. He's absolutely unbelievable. Like, he hits the ball so far. Like, to be fair, I think all the cricket boys hit it really far. I don't really know. But absolutely unbelievable golfer. And we've actually just filmed our first few videos. So we went out to Mallorca a couple of weeks ago and we filmed a couple of the videos together, which you're actually going to see after this one. So our first video together will be after this. And they're really good videos. It's good playing with like a good golfer. And he helps me a lot. Like, we've helped each other a lot with our golf swings because I've got knowledge, but I don't have the experience. Whereas he also has knowledge and a lot more experience than me. He's been playing for so many more years than I have. But it's actually really nice being able to help each other and support each other. And I feel like that will probably come across to you guys as well. So you might maybe learn a thing or two. Who knows? Maybe you won't learn anything. You just find it entertaining. At least I hope you find it entertaining. If you don't, then I need to reevaluate. But I would probably say one thing that I really appreciate is I thought that I was going to just live my life being lonely. Like, I thought I was just going to be on the road, just doing my work, doing my gigs, just being on my own every night, wherever I am in the world. Like, I just thought that was it, and I was just going to have to accept it, and I just have to pick, okay, that's going to be my work, and until I basically come back to England and settle down, then I won't be able to change it. Like, who else really travels around the world with their job? It's actually such a weird thing when you think about it. It's difficult. It's really hard, and you're always living life at a level of like uncomfortability. Is that a word? Just not being comfortable. You're always like slightly on edge. But since being with Ollie, I feel like it's quite different because he travels a lot with his job as well. I kind of feel like I don't need to be lonely anymore, which is like, it's such a nice feeling, but it's also such a weird feeling to think that I don't have to be lonely. It's nice. And because we both have super untraditional schedules, we actually have the opportunity to travel together a lot more. If he's on the road, technically I could go to wherever he is and then film golf courses in and around whatever country he's in. Then obviously if I'm on the road and he's not cricketing, I say cricketing, is that a thing? I'm gonna say cricketing. He can be with me and help me with my filming or be in some of my videos. So like, weirdly, it works super well. And he's just like a really chill person, like super calm. Really nice. I don't have to describe it. Just nice. And also, I feel like it's going to be better for you guys because then I'm going to be able to film like our life on the road. Like, I can film vlogs for you and you can kind of see what goes on behind the scenes of my life, and then obviously a bit of the cricketing world if you want to know about the cricketing world. And I just feel like I'm going to be so much happier being someone I can like physically be with, who can physically support me and I can physically support them, and I don't know, just go to events with. Like, I always went to events on my own wherever I was in the world, just because other people live other lives and they have other things going on. But it'll be so nice to have like someone I can go with and share moments with. Anyway, I feel like that's enough on that topic. I'm getting really like awkward about it, and that's probably the most gushing I'm going to do because okay, moving on swiftly. But yeah, if there are any specific videos you'd like us to film together, then let me know. But there'll be a few coming out. So we've got the ones we filmed in Mallorca. He's going to be caddying for me at the BMW. We had the Greenkeeper's Revenge the other day. So there's going to be loads of videos. And yeah, hopefully you guys are going to love him. Love him. All right, this is the final question before I go. What is one piece of advice you'd give to yourself at this stage of your life? To be honest, I would say it's going to be okay. That's it. I think everyone sometimes just needs to hear that, It's going to be okay. I mean, you can't control the uncontrollable. You can only control what is within your realms. I think just stay true to yourself, be kind, be better, be happy, and good things will come to you. But at the end of the day, like, it is going to be okay. The people you need in your life and who love you and care for you and support you will always be there. And then the ones who don't, doesn't really matter, because just let them live their lives happy. You live your life happy, and like, that's all that needs to happen. work hard, do things you're passionate about, do things that you love, and yeah, the rest will come. Like, life is to be lived, to be enjoyed, and it is like to be happy. And I think that's what we all want, really, at the end of the day. So yeah, if you want that piece of advice and you want to take it, it's all going to be okay. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Happy to do more of these if you have more questions and stuff you'd like to talk about, or me to share with you, or any of that. And as I've said before, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. And I will catch up with you very, very soon on the course.